Well, believe it or not, it's how we lived our lives from the beginning of history. You know, first you learned, but you just did it once. Then you worked and built a family, and again, you just did that once. And then if you were lucky enough to have a few years left at the end of your life to retire, you retired, but it was something that was very short. It was sort of for reflection and resting before you died, because then you died, and that was life. Now today, as people are living longer, and you have this baby boom generation in the second half of life, they're questioning this whole setup. They're saying, do I really want to be over the hill at 50? And you know what the answer to that is. No, a resounding no. People do not want to do that. Instead, people want to take the idea of work, leisure, and recreation, and they want to mix it up throughout their lifespan. So what does that look like? It looks like people going back to work at 35 in a new job, having a second career at 42, maybe 55, going back to school at maybe 50 or 80. It means you can actually be more than one person in your life. And the idea of reinvention becomes a key cornerstone of being an adult. It's very exciting, but also very challenging. I have a friend who was a dentist, and he turned around when he was about 35 and he said, you know, I decided to be a dentist when I was 17 years old. I am not going to live with a 17-year-old's decision the rest of my life. So he went back to school, and now he's a psychologist. There's two key issues, well actually there's three key issues to living this more cyclic life. First is you got to plan for it. That means you've got to sit down at various points in your life and say, okay, what do I want to do for the next 10 years or the next 15 years? And you got to kind of scope it out. And that doesn't mean it doesn't change, but you've got to think it through. Second, you've got to get your health into a place where you're going to feel great and have long life and good health. I mean, living long is great, but if you don't have your good health, it could be a living prison. That's not something you want to have happen. So you need to put the right things in place so you can be healthy. And third, and maybe most important, the one that causes people the most stress is financial. You need to plan for all this financially. You need to start saving young, putting away money young. I mean, it's an old story. We've all heard it, but it's more important than ever. The boomers tend to think from the inside out. So many of them who have had careers that have been somewhat successful or to a certain degree successful for them, when they hit 55, 60, they do want to retire from that job. But from the studies that we've done, we found that most of those people do want to have a second career. They want to work. They don't want to work as hard. They don't want to work as long, many hours in the day, etc. But they want to have a second career. And they want to do something they enjoy. So maybe they want to go back to school and become a teacher. And so they'll still be making income, not as much as they made when they were younger, but enough to have them live the life they want so that they can, in fact, reinvent themselves from the inside out. The last thing I believe, which will be the new frontier, is kind of tweaking the genes, genetic manipulation, and that's customized. For instance, the idea of customized medicine based on your own genetic profile, I believe that's something that we will see in the near future that can help us add years to our life, and I think almost as important, if not more important, add life to our years.
So you think baby boomer generations, that's going to come around?
Yeah, I think it will. I definitely do.
Give me a little more information on that.
Well, for instance, I mean, just a simple little thing like stem cells being used to help reverse macular degeneration. I mean, that's big.
That's huge.
Yes, it's huge, and the testing is going on right now. It's been very successful.
Okay, what you're telling me right now is that we're looking at it, there might be a cure for macular degeneration within our boomer's lifetime.
I do believe that that's possible, yes. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, I'm not a scientist, but from the studies that I've read, it's very promising.